The House Select Committee on Benghazi, who asked many of those security questions at the hearing, Georgia Congressman Lynn Westmoreland. Congressman, good to have you on the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Maria.
Were you satisfied with the testimony last week?
Well, I mean, we asked the questions that we wanted to ask. She was just one of many witnesses that we're calling. And so we're just trying to get testimony from those people that were involved in it. And so, I mean, we got the answers that we already knew, is that the security there was not a priority with her, that she lied about what caused the attack. So, yeah, I mean, I think as far as the committee went, I think we did great. I don't know what everybody else is saying about her doing so great. Anytime you're proving a liar on TV in front of the world, I mean, I don't know how that comes out great for you.
And when you say she's proven a liar, I guess one of the emails in question she sent to her daughter, and she said that the attack in Libya had nothing to do with the video. In the email, she said this has nothing to do with the video, that they were purporting that it was because of a video, and it was a terrorist attack. Now, that was the day of the incident?
Well, yes, it was that evening, and her email to Chelsea basically said we had 2 Americans killed by an al-Qaeda-style attack. She told the Egyptian Prime Minister the same thing, that this was an attack. But yet she turned around and was telling the American people that, you know, it was the video. In fact, what's really so horrific about this whole thing is the fact that she went up to the families as these brave Americans' bodies were being brought home, and she said, we're going to put the man in jail that made this video. Well, I mean, knowing all along that that's not what happened to their loved ones, that their loved ones were killed by an attack.
Right. So why would she do that? Was this just an ideology? Okay, so it was September 11th. We know that. We know that there was an election 2 months later, and the administration was putting out lots of sort of messaging that the terrorists were on the run, the situation was calm, there isn't terrorists the way that a lot of people were talking about. Is that what you're referring to as her lying?
Yes, ma'am. It was strictly political. The election was 56 days away. Ben Rhodes, you know, from the White House had a lot to do with those talking points. You can't believe when you look at it how many different stories came through those talking points. And they wanted the American people to believe that this was caused by this video. And they went so far as to have the filmmaker locked up. So it was just a ruse. And, you know, the one thing the Democrats do much, much better than the Republicans do, they stick to their story.
Yeah.
They stick to their lines, and that's just the way, I guess, they're, you know, drilled. Right.
And Hillary Clinton was not out on the Sunday shows. They put Susan Rice out on the Sunday shows that weekend, who continued this fantasy that it was because of a video and it wasn't terrorism. You know, what else do you? Yes, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, I don't think the Secretary would go on those shows and tell those stories. I don't think she would do it. I don't think she wanted to do it because she knew it would be a political nightmare for her. And Maria, let me bring up one other thing. Ms. Clinton said she didn't find out that the State Department wanted all these emails until October. The reality of it is in July, the State Department contacted Cheryl Mills, her chief of staff, to talk about these emails. And so they had a period of time there to discuss what they were going to do, and what they came up with is, oh, well, we just won't for Hillary's. We'll ask for the former Secretary of State's, going all the way back to Madeleine Albright, which I doubt even had a computer. So that and the statements that they made, her not going on the Sunday talk show, the ruse about when she found out about they wanted her emails. Look, it was a plan that had been in place, I think, for a long time.
Right. Well, I mean, do you think you have advanced this investigation forward based on the hearing last week? What else do you need to hear in terms of filling out the blanks on this story, because we know that the Democrats, and in particular Hillary's camp, is painting this entire investigation as being politically motivated.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're very good at grabbing hold of something and making up a line, and all of them sticking to it. She was one of 54, I believe, witnesses that we've had so far. We've probably got another 20 or 25 witnesses. But Maria, what's so interesting about this investigation is that every time we interview somebody, somebody else's name or something else gets involved, and so now we've got another witness to call. So with Ms. Clinton, she was one of these witnesses. We need to talk to General Petraeus, General Dempsey, Secretary Gates. We are just at that stage of getting into the military response right now. And, I'm not an attorney, but, I understand that you take these witnesses in the order of the events that happen. And so Trey has done, a great job, I think, of being very patient, very methodical in getting these witnesses in.
All right, we will watch for the further developments, and we should point out that we know about the email and the server issue as a result of this committee.
Yep.
Because of all of the due diligence. Congressman, good to have you on the program. Thanks very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.